About as much as I need to see her, every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I feel you.
I talk to her once a month on the phone, but I go visit her about every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I don't need to see my sister or my brother.
She lives north of Jacksonville, and that's just too far, bro. It's like 90 miles one way.
I see my older sister about once or twice a year, and that's just fine with both of us.
And let me just give you a little background. My sister doesn't drive after dark, or she doesn't drive over bridges. So that's the type of person you only need to see about 2 or 3 times,
right.
About every 2 or 3 years.
So it's not a medical problem that causes her not to drive at night.
Oh, it's a medical problem.
But not a physical eye issue.
Oh, no, it's a psychiatric problem.
Yes, that's what I'm assuming.
She's scared to drive after dark. She's scared of bridges.
Well, what if there's no other way to get to her destination besides crossing a bridge?
She doesn't go.
So you've been in the car with her when she's had to throw a Yui around?
Oh, no. We grew up in Jacksonville. The beach, you have to go across the bridge to get to the beach. She hadn't been to the beach since she was 12 years old.
Why?
Gotta go over the bridge.
Did she
It's not like the little bridge. It's not like the
like
little bridges, I'm not talking about the little bridges over creeks and all that are on
over
every
like
roadway.
a lake or river?
I'm talking about bridges.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what her phobia is. It's just all of a sudden cropped up when she was a teenager.
We're about to find out exactly what the name is.
Here's what else you can do to make yourself happy. Go outside. Take in the nature. Take in nature. Make a time to go outside at least 20 minutes a day outside.
You want to hear this real quick?
Yeah, what's my sister's phobia?
Gephrophobia. Gephyro phobia is an anxiety disorder brought about by the fear of bridges.
Yeah. My sister suffers from it bad, bro. And you've been to Jacksonville.
They will avoid routes that will take them over bridges.
Yeah. You've been to Jacksonville a couple times. There are some big bridges in Jacksonville.
This is weird, man. People are scared of everything.
Dude, I almost thought one time she was going to kill me because I just was goofing on her. She was like 14. And I said, we're going somewhere. And then I took Heckscher Drive and went over to Dames Point Bridge. She about flipped out. I literally thought I was going to have to stop on the bridge and knock her unconscious.
It says it's common in Maryland thanks to the Bay Bridge. There's like a lot of, I guess, big bridges that people are scared of.
I bet the people in Tampa are scared of that bridge that goes into St. Pete, the Skyway Bridge.
It's a long one.
And it's huge, bro. Huge.
And you get stuck in traffic out there.
How about the bridges? There's a couple bridges in the forest that go over the Ocala and everything.
Well, I'm just scared of the forest. Just in general,
first off,
those
bridges are probably like 50
there.
years old. So, all right, another way you can make me happy, JJ, help others. 100 hours a year of volunteer service is the magical number. Researchers interviewed more than 150 people about their recent purchase. They found that money spent on activities, concerts, group dinners out brought far more pleasure than material purchases like shoes, televisions, expensive watches. Spending money on other people, called pro-social spending, also boosts happiness. So buy a round of drinks for your friends next time you're out, JJ. That'll make you more happy.
Always try to.
Practice smiling. It can alleviate pain. You want me to just get in my mirror and practice? Man, we talk about practice. Plan a trip, but don't take one. As opposed to actually taking a holiday, it seems that planning a vacation or just a break from work can improve our happiness. Buddy always wonders why I'm on this computer every now and then. I got Expedia.com up, planning a trip to Vegas or Atlantic City. It's because I'm in a bad mood and want to get happy. It says right here, it's proof.
Oh, Greece.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Number 9, this is one that Lori would think was a great one. Meditate. Rewire your brain for happiness. And finally, the 10th thing you can do to be happy, JJ. Always do everything Tom tells you to do. Or practice gratitude, depending on how you look at that. Practice gratitude. Increase both happiness and life satisfaction. This is a seemingly simple strategy, but it's been found to make a huge difference in the outlook of people who practice gratitude. So there's the 10 ways to make you happy, JJ. How many of those do you actually do now?
I work out. I like cigarettes and Heineken.
Do you practice
They make me
gratitude?
happy, but I'm not exactly sure.
meditate?
I definitely don't do that.
Do you plan trips but don't take them?
No.
How about, do you smile a lot?
Yes.
You do smile.
I laugh a lot.
That makes you happy. Do you help others?
I spend a lot of time with family and friends.
You help others?
I would say probably no.
How often are you outside?
I take a walk with my dog once a day.
Well, there you go. See, so you do some
about
things
an
to make
hour.
you happy.
Yeah.
Spend time with your friends and family. Move closer to work really doesn't apply to us.
No.
Sleep more. I know you sleep.
I sleep good
I know
now.
you got that. And then, the number one exercise, at least 7 minutes a day, make you happy. We're going to take a break. When we come back, do you think there's a difference between cheap wine and expensive wine, JJ?
Yes.
You do think there's a difference? Well, I got a scientific study that'll tell you whether there is or not. We'll talk about that next. Plus, a man died suddenly after opening something. I'll tell you what it was. Plus, tweets and quotes coming up. Buddy Martin joins us in hour number 2. Mayor Kent Gwynn will be here with us. Buddy's also going to defend Ocala against a New York columnist. And then in the sports hour, we're going to have a rewind of what Allison Campbell and Angie Lewis thought about the proposed stadium measures for the New York Yankees to come here to Ocala. We'll do all that on this version of the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Having the motivation and making the commitment to quit smoking is a great first step towards becoming smoke-free. However, anyone who's tried to quit smoking knows how challenging it can be. Having the determination to quit may not be enough. You may need some help. If you're ready to quit smoking and are between the ages of 18 and 75, currently smoke 10 or more cigarettes a day, and can commit to participating for 24 weeks, you may be interested in a research study which is being conducted to evaluate the use of investigational drugs to see if they can aid individuals in their quest to quit smoking. To help you quit, smoking cessation counseling and all study-related medical care will be provided at no extra cost. You may also be reimbursed for your travel time. To receive more information about this study, how you can participate, please call Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. That's Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala, 352-629-5800.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, @yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
This is Tom Smith live in the WOCA studios with this news update brought to you by Gateway Bank. Government officials say they have evidence they believe links a Tampa couple to more than a dozen bank robberies in 2 states over a 10-month span, including one in Ocala. Emmanuel and Kara Williams were apprehended Thursday by authorities at their Tampa residence. They were both charged with conspiracy to obstruct, delay, or affect commerce by robbery and conspiracy to commit bank robbery. If convicted, each could face 20 years in a federal prison. The Ocala bank they're accused of robbing was the BBVA Compass on Southwest 19th Road on October 15th. That's the one right here next to the mall. This news update was brought to you by Gateway Bank, your new old-fashioned bank. Join Buddy every Friday for Community Gazette Day at Gateway Bank. We're back on the Voice of Ocala. Wow, so remember that bank robbery?
Yes, that happened.
It happened
very recently.
Yeah, October 15th. Remember, I came in and we actually broke you on live reports about it and everything.
Saw the cops down there. So husband and wife duo.
Husband and wife, Emmanuel and Kara Williams. So they believe they have the evidence. They believe
they've robbed that same bank before.
Yeah, $6,690 is what they got this time.
Doesn't seem like a lot.
They just get what's in one drawer or 2 drawers or something. African-American gentleman and a Caucasian woman robbing banks. 13 banks. 11 in Florida and 2 in Alabama.
They'll be gone for a very long time.
A long time. And that's federal time, too. They'll do all of it.
Speaking of federal time, you see Sam Hurd?
No.
Former Chicago Bear wide receiver who was... Do you remember when he got arrested for moving kilo cocaine?
Yes.
Well, he's supposed to be convicted today after...
Wow.
What do you call it? Say you were guilty almost a year ago in March. Could get life in prison without the possibility of parole for a kilo of cocaine. You go from an NFL wide receiver...
To life in prison.
To life in prison with no parole for not even... he didn't do what Aaron Hernandez. This is, I know they're in big war on drugs, especially around the Chicago area and stuff, but geez, give me a break.
Kilo, life in prison. Does seem a little strange. Before we went to break, I asked you, JD, are you a fan of wine, and do you drink a lot of wine? Your answer, of course, was no, you don't. But a lot of people do. There's a wine shortage. Buddy had reported earlier this week. Last week, actually. There's a wine shortage. People drinking, consumption of wine in America and in China has grown to the point where it's created a wine shortage. Well, Dan Irely does a question and answer for the Wall Street Journal, and people write into him, and one guy wrote, "Dear Dan, I love drinking good wine. Each time I go to a restaurant, I wonder what is the ideal amount of money to spend on a bottle. What do you do?" And that's a good question because, you go to the Marion Theater. You can buy a bottle of wine at the Marion Theater for $28. Get the whole bottle, go into the movies and watch it. Is that a good price? At a theater, yeah, it's a pretty good price. I think it's a good price. But, usually a bottle of wine costs you at the grocery store. I buy the $10 bottle at the grocery store. You go to a restaurant, you pay $25, $30 for a bottle of wine. Well, a recent experiment suggests an answer. Aliette and Yuri Genzi of the University of California, San Diego teamed up with a winery owner in their state to figure out experimentally the best price for his Cabernet. On some days, they sold the wine for $10 a bottle, on others for $20, and on others for $40. Demand fell off at $40, but the winery sold more bottles of its Cabernet when the price was $20 than when it was $10. And customers who paid more indicated that the wine tastes better. Yuri and John described the experiment in their new book, The Y-Axis, in which they used field experiments as a method to look at many of life's questions, from wine to the love of the workplace. The main advice is we should all do more experiments. So next time you go to a restaurant, order 2 glasses of the same wine, one rather basic and one fancy, and tell the waiter to write which one is which down, but don't tell you, and see if you can tell the difference. I bet you can't. I would almost guarantee you can't. So the moral of that story, the $10 bottle, the $20 bottle of Cabernet.
But there's those people that have their wines.
I'm talking about the average person.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the wine connoisseurs know the difference.
People that drink the same exact wine, or the same couple types of wine all the time.
But the average person couldn't tell the difference between a $25 bottle of Cab and a $10 bottle of Cab.
You think that's the same thing with beer? I can tell.
Oh, no, beer's different. Beer's different.
Right away.
But I promise you couldn't tell the difference between a $10 bottle of Cabernet
I know,
and a $20.
I could. I don't even
Now, you
drink
could probably tell the difference between a $100 bottle of Cabernet and a $10 bottle.
I would hope so.
But not a $20 and a $10, I don't think.
What's the most expensive bottle of wine you've ever bought in your entire life?
I bought a Pinot Noir at downtown Disney, not at downtown Disney, at the Yachtsman Steakhouse in Disney. The bottle was $128.
Okay.
It's the most expensive bottle I've ever bought.
That's not too bad.
It's the most expensive dinner I've ever had. My ex-wife and I, we went there. We had steaks, a bottle of wine, 2 highball cocktails before dinner, and dessert, and the bill was a little over $500 for 2 people.
Ruth Chris type meal right there.
Well, it was. We got the, fillets usually come in like 5-6 ounces. No, at the Yachtsman Steak Club, you can get a 14-ounce fillet. So, 14 ounce, it was like $78 a steak. That was $200 right there.
Dang.
But I mean, with tip and all, it was $500. So, it's the most expensive steak dinner you've ever had.
A female out there, man, you better not say anything about anything I do for a long time. $500 dinner? You serious?
Doesn't work that way, bro. Doesn't work that way. Should. But, and it was the experience of being at the Yachtsman Steakhouse and everything, too, that, has a lot to do with it. There's a place at the Grand Floridian, a steakhouse at the Grand Floridian. I cannot remember the name of it. But that you go there, and they actually have, in case you don't have a sport coat and tie, they have a room where they fit you with a sports jacket and a tie so you can go in and eat. I'm not about places like that.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm not about all that. You know what Pandora's box is, JJ?
Yes.
Scared of Pandora's box? Let out all the evil, and then she slammed the box shut, and what'd she leave in the box? Hope. Let all the evil out, and slammed the box shut on hope. Well, an official inquest into the mysterious death of Jason Airy was unable to determine exactly what led the 32-year-old to suddenly stop living. Shortly after he opened a container inscribed with the words, Pandora's Box. Airy was found slumped forward with his face down in the bedroom of his family home in the United Kingdom. He was rushed to a nearby hospital but passed away. According to officials, the open Pandora box beside him contained a small packet of synthetic cannabis, which was unused. In fact, there was no traces of any drug in his system at the time of death, and his father claimed Airy hadn't taken any drugs after having a bad experience with ecstasy 13 years ago. Dennis Airy further told the inquest that his son was in a good mood and was just his normal self before his unexplained demise. The coroner concluded Airy's heart stopped beating, but could only offer up conjecture as to why. His heart stopping caused the death of his brain, which caused multiple organ failure, Robert Chapman, the coroner, said. We don't really know what caused his heart to stop. But it happened right after he opened Pandora's box. Dun, dun, dun.
So what, they found him dead with that stupid box sitting in front of him?
Yeah.
And they don't know how it happened.
Yeah, slumped over right in front of him.
Attack.
They don't know. They said he just stopped. His heart stopped.
That his dad is playing on everyone. Or whoever found him dead.
I don't know. Somebody get away with a perfect crime, maybe?
Oh, yeah. That's like the perfect crime is killing someone with an piece of ice.
With a piece of ice and letting it melt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genius.
They did that on Mike and Molly the other night.
Wow, that show's gotten a little crazier.
Mike and Molly. Molly's lost her mind.
Someone.
Molly's lost her mind.
So they murdered someone that show.
Well, she's writing a novel. And in the novel...
You think that show's funny, don't you?
Well,
that show is
it's
complete
hilarious.
crap.
It's hilarious.
No,
in the novel...
It's taking advantage of overweight people.
But
she's not funny. You're
but
just
she's writing it. No, they were not making fat jokes. She's making a joke about wanting to kill her mother-in-law. But she writes it in the novel. She writes it in the novel and says the girl in the novel is named Millie. So then she stabs the woman and lives happily ever after she stabbed her with the ice pick. So then it pans back to Molly in the living room with her mother and sister, and she says, "What do y'all think?" And her sister looks at her and says, "I think you're a psycho that wants to kill your mother-in-law." She's like, "What do you mean? How could you? Why do you think that?" She was like, "Millie, Molly." They had the mother-in-law's name and all, but
yeah, I get it. It's not funny.
They used the ice. She broke off an icicle and stabbed her with it. So perfect crime.
CBS laughs.
It's one of those Chuck Lorre shows.
I hate all of them.
He's got. I didn't realize how many shows he has on. He's got 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory, Mom, and Mike and Molly.
You know what? Do me a favor. Watch a YouTube video called The Big Bang Theory without the laugh track. Tell me how funny you think it is.
And what about this?
Watch any of those shows.
Guess who tweeted Chuck Lorre saying, "Sorry for the way I treated you and everything. I got this great idea we need to talk about."
Charlie Sheen.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Charlie Sheen sent out a tweet over the weekend to Chuck Lorre saying, "I need to apologize, which I'll do in face to face. But I got this great idea I want to discuss with you."
Me replacing Ashton.
Well,
$2 million an episode.
He thought he was bigger than that show. That show still gets 10 million viewers a week, and he's on some show.
No, I think that probably has been canceled.
He's on some show
about anger management.
He's on some show, Anger Management, that barely stays afloat.
I don't even think if it is.
No, it's still on TV. I read the article this week, but it's always on the chopping block.
Yeah.
And 2.5 Men isn't going anywhere. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, tweets and quotes, wrap up the first hour. Buddy Barton joins us in the second hour. Mayor Kent Gwynn stops by for his weekly visit. Plus, Buddy defends Ocala against the New York Columnist. And Allison Campbell and Angie Lewis had some poignant statements about baseball, Ocala, and the New York Yankees. We'll do all that coming up on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies, Gifts, and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's a leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Your home for Florida State football all season long. WOCA, The Source.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Dr. Gregory Sison. He's a neonatologist at the Pediatrics Medical Group in Atlanta, and Crystal Deal, a prematurity advocate and mother of 2 preemie babies. They'll be on the air to speak to us about protecting our children from a respiratory virus.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then Hank Whittier will be in the studio bringing you veterans news as he does each and every Thursday.
Michael Stoward is an independent consultant for aspiring gospel artists, jazz artists, and writers. He's written a book called Lifeology 101. If all else fails, smile. It's his memoir.
And then Wendy Cook, BJ Jacobs, and Yankee Girl will be in the studio from True Grits Restaurant. They'll be talking about the food they serve over there and getting us hungry.
Dr. John Grace is a board-certified psychiatrist. He'll be in the studio speaking about Dash for Dementia, the fundraising event for the Memory Enhancement Center.
All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
News Talk 1370. WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
Back wrapping up the first hour of the Voice of Ocala. Buddy Martin will join us in the second hour. Buddy's still a little under the weather, trying to get his voice back. Mayor Kent Gwynn joins us in hour number 2. Plus, Buddy defends the city of Ocala against a New York Times against a New York columnist, not a New York Times columnist, just a New York columnist. All that coming up in the second hour. And in the sports hour, we're going to replay some comments Angie Lewis and Allison Campbell had yesterday concerning the New York Yankees and the proposed stadium that needs to be built here in Ocala for the Yankees to come. Also, breaking news out of Pittsburgh right now. This story was happening in the last hour. There's been a shooting at Bashir High School in Pittsburgh. It's not known if the victims are students. The police there's reports of at least 3 people shot. One report says the victim is a 17-year-old male who was grazed in the head by a bullet. He's since been taken to the hospital. He's believed to be in stable condition. Police are searching nearby woods for at least one shooter. It's not known if there's more than that. This is an ongoing breaking story out of Pittsburgh. Shots fired at a local high school in Pittsburgh. Reports of 3 people shot. So far, they're looking for one gunman. Don't know if there's more than one or not. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops while we're on the air today. Just another in a line of not surprising. Let's go ahead and get tweets and quotes in, JJ. Fire up the music. Tweets and quotes today. Buddy Martin under the weather, so he gave me tweets and quotes to do today. So here we go. A dog owns nothing, yet it is seldom dissatisfied. Number 2, authority without wisdom is like a heavy axe without an edge, fitter to bruise than to polish. Bradstreet Annex. And finally, this one's from Joni Mitchell, who turned 70 this week. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? We're going to come back in hour number 2 in the Voice of Ocala. Buddy Martin, Mayor Kent Gwynn Plus, Buddy takes on a New York columnist over the city of Ocala. And we'll be following this breaking story of a shooting in Pittsburgh. Reports of at least 3 people shot at a high school in Pittsburgh, looking for the shooter in the nearby woods. We'll keep following that story in hour number 2 of The Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good, who never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play a guitar just like a ring in a bell.
Getting a head start in learning to read is more important now than ever for our young children. The Reading Pals program of Marion County pairs up reading mentors with struggling kindergartners and helps them get up to speed in their most important years. But they need volunteers. If you'd like to be a Reading Pal, call Jan Hathaway at the United Way at 732-9696. That's 732-9696. Be a Reading Pal today.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of Kinetic Motion Fitness here in Ocala, Florida. A lot of you have experienced our great classes in personal and small group training, but did you know we now offer dynamic workouts on DVD? These high-quality, locally produced, effective DVD workouts can go where you go. Going on vacation? No problem. We can go with you. Friends and relatives out of town who are jealous that you get to come to KMF? No problem. We ship anywhere in the United States for free. Our great lineup of 4 DVDs includes Kinetic Achieve, Kinetic Couples, Kinetic Core, and Kinetic Campus. 4 great workouts for the entire family on DVD. Sound interesting? Check them out on our website at kmfocala.com. While you're there, check out our class schedule and come see us. We're only 5 minutes from downtown across from the Skylark Plaza. Visit kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. KMF will get you results at our studio or at home with one of our DVDs. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are. Visit kmfocala.com for more information.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Let's talk turkey. Chris Spears here from Prestige Auto Sales. With the holidays coming and the in-laws already in town, I don't have time to go to the auction.
We need your help to stuff our lot with cars like a Thanksgiving Day bird. Quit that old car you hate, cold turkey.
Based on the sale price of the car you choose, you can get up to $3,758 more than the appraised value of your old car. Fed up with your old ride? You can drive a nicer, newer car today.
Is your credit fried? My For the People credit approval process butters up the bankers to help you get approved.
If I don't get more cars soon, I'm cooked. Help me stuff my lot like a Thanksgiving Day turkey. Based on the sale price of the car you choose, you can get up to $3,758 more than the appraised value of your old car. But hurry, this deal ends after we've helped 47 people get fat in a nicer, newer car. My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala or call 694-1234. Yes, 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're ocalaforsale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to ocalaforsale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
How good does it get?
Golf has long been considered to be sport's most prestigious game, and WOCA has your connection to everything in the golf world. Every first and third Thursday at 10 a.m., tune in for Let's Talk Golf with your host, PGA professional and teacher to the stars, Jim Beckett, and operations manager for the Links of Spruce Creek South, Darren Irwin, right here on The Source. Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Don't ever miss a single edition of the Mike Huckabee Show. We're going to have a whole lot of fun talking the big issues of the day. We'll talk to the newsmakers and the issues that made them a newsmaker, as well as we'll bring you some entertainment, some fun. You never know what's going to happen on the Mike Huckabee Show. Don't miss it.
Join Mike Huckabee every weekday from noon to 3 exclusively on WOCA The Source.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
6,000 people who did. The White House says that number may have been affected by all of the problems with the government's website, healthcare.gov. About 80,000 people used a state exchange. Next time you take your kid for a checkup, the doctor may ask you how much time he or she spends watching TV or on the computer. The American Academy of Pediatrics says it's a valid question in determining if your child has a healthy lifestyle. And depending on your answer, you may be told to cut back on their viewing time. If you pay at least $60,000 for a car, you don't think it's going to catch fire like several of those ultra-pricey Tesla Model S's have. The company says it has no plans to recall the sedans. The CEO says the electric car is still 5 times less likely to catch fire than cars powered by gasoline. Hold a door. Say hi to someone you don't know. Just be nice. It's World Kindness Day. This is ABC News.
Quite often we find ourselves thinking we should have done things sooner.
I love that we took this vacation.
I know. We should have done this a long time ago.
Sooner is just better than later. And now you don't have to wait till later to own the car of your dreams, thanks to a surprisingly affordable certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Each of our certified pre-owned vehicles undergoes an exhaustive process of analysis, inspection, and reconditioning until it meets the uncompromising standards of a Mercedes-Benz. Plus, every one is available with an optional extended limited warranty for up to 7 years or 135,000 total vehicle miles. And now, with 3 months of Sirius XM satellite radio. And your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz is available only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Visit today for exceptional financing.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
He's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala. Hoo-ah!
You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
Hello, welcome to Hour 2. Yeah, that's me, half the voice of Ocala. Good, thanks to the guys for carrying the show this last hour. Appreciate that very much. I apologize for the voice. I really don't feel as bad as I sound, but nonetheless, we'll go as long as we can with it today. And then if I can't make it through, then these guys will carry us through. I hope it doesn't sound painful, but, you know, it's just the way it is. JJ, you and Tom talk about the phobias in the first hour. Tom's sister had a bridge phobia. I'm thinking that day he put her in a car and drove her to the bridge. Was it Matthews Bridge?
No, I drove her over the Dames Point Bridge.
Okay, Dames Point Bridge. Okay, you did that. Probably fitting justice would have been you to be stopped by a guy in a clown outfit.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that would not been good.
Yeah. So you know how she feels if she's afraid of bridges.
Yeah, but I'm her older brother. I'm supposed to do things like that to her.
Well, they are these. You know, we kid about that.
She did send a clown to my 21st birthday.
Well, there
by the
you
way.
go. She got your back.
So,
but those are horrible things.
18 and paid a clown $300 to come to my
Yeah.
21st birthday.
JJ, I'm glad I thought of that. There's no idea. When's your birthday? So I'll be a man of few words today. You guys can fill the blanks in. Coming up on the show, Kent Gwynn will be here, and sometime this hour, and we're going to play for him the bites we had yesterday on our roundtable discussion when JJ thought he was superior in knowledge to the girls who were here. So, JJ,
maybe not in that aspect.
Okay, just checking, JJ. I do listen to the show. I hear. You want to share a little good news with us today, or is that private?
No, I'll keep that private.
So you don't want them to know that you were named Man of the Year by never. Okay.
GQ.
Yeah, never mind. I'm sorry. Save that. All right. Like Tom said, you've been talking about this Dennis Hamill, New York columnist. And I told you about this, Tom, I think.
Yeah, last week you said that he had written a column and you didn't want to get drawn into it. But
no, it wasn't a column. It was a note of our listener, Bob Cronin.
Right.
Bob Cronin took him on for something about New York City. And Bob Cronin is a conservative and he's a liberal. And they got into it in words. And in that conversation, he referred to Ocala as a hellhole. He'd never been here. And, of course, Bob sucked me into the argument, And so this is a result of that. I'll even let you read the first 3 or 4 paragraphs. Just read down to here, and we'll tell you what this is about. We will, and after the break, we'll do that. I'll let you just pick it up from here and read it. But and just to set the premise, this is my email to Dennis Hamill, the columnist, and what I said about it. And then this is the response of Dennis Hamill to me in the email. So we'll see, just to give you that take on that. Let's see. Google. Think about this for a minute. You know my background, I'm from in newspapers and radio and a little bit of television. Obviously, I'm sort of pro in that regard. This is a kind of a shocking story to read to me. They're from Media Bistro. Google, like I told you, my wife bought a few shares of it years ago.
Right.
How big is it now? Bigger than both the magazine and newspaper industries. They have more revenue and more readers than apparently all the newspapers and all the magazines. That's how it's changed.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that. Google is a world-renowned. Everybody in the world uses Google. Everybody.
Not everybody. There's 99% of them. There's some that don't.
Right, but everybody who is computer.
Mike Finn doesn't use it. On the other hand, Mike Finn doesn't use email, so there you go.
Can Mike Finn read a newspaper?
He read a story today, which caught my attention. I had not read it yet, and it led me to book some guests on Wednesday because I think it's a good story, and it involves our friend Bruce Mozart, and we're going to have him on with 2 ladies next week on Wednesday, which I'll tell you about.
I may hold Mike Finn down and just force him to read Google.
Well, he didn't. He said he's had a computer since 1985 or 6, whatever year it was.
Yeah, but the Apple IIc is not really good anymore.
He's not that modern. He probably got the old IBM.
Got the Texas Instruments T88.
Yeah. Big thing from Mike would be if he ever decided to actually use email. Forget Google. But that's just Mike. Mike's always thought of computers were something never would make it,
the great thing about Mike Finn, we kid and jest with Mike, but the great thing about Mike is you're never left wondering where he stands on a subject.
For sure. And by the way, we had a sort of a humdinger today, myself and Gerald Ergel and Mike, on baseball.
Oh, boy, I wish I'd have been there for that.
Oh, yeah. Mike has a strong position on that. And is this one that if they're going to raise money, then do it for infrastructure. And, he's siding with the idea that the money should be spent for something else. Anyway, I think I also had a conversation today with a very enlightened woman. I won't even mention her name because I don't want to get her in trouble. A major player in the political arena in this community who enlightened me about some things regarding the money and the potential that I hadn't thought about for the arena and the parking places out there. Now, I've since talked to Daniel Owen, who informed me a little bit more about it. And tomorrow, Daniel Owen's going to have a distinguished panel, 4 o'clock here, with some people to talk about the stadium and try to get the idea of what this is about so people can be educated. They just started educated.
Well, if Daniel's going to have a distinguished panel, you and I will not be in the room.
No, we won't be on it.
We will not be in the room.
But I'll give you an example of where we stand on the stadium issue. I have a relative who shall go nameless. Last night at Alexander's birthday party, by the way, Alexander, my grandson, happy 66th birthday.
I remember when he turned 4.
I know. Well, that would be 2 years ago. See how
I know, but I'm just saying. It seems like
he's acting like it's so long ago.
But it seems like it was just a month ago.
Yeah, he'll be driving by next year. So anyway, last night at birthday dinner, my relative and I conversed. I didn't get too close because of the throat. And I said, "Do you know about the baseball thing?" And he said, "No." And I told him what I know, and I don't know everything. And I don't want to be a know-it-all because I'm learning all the time too. And my relatives happens to be very conservative about money. I mean, he's like, he's doesn't like taxes. He's a conservative Republican. But he has vision for certain things, but taxes is not one of them. Because in reality, sales tax and ad valorem tax are not the same thing. But anyway, once I told him the story, guess what he said?
That's a good deal for Ocala.
He says, "I don't understand. Why wouldn't the county commissioners go for it?" I said, "Well, that's a good question." He said, "I don't understand." He said, "Tell me this again. 25-year lease with the New York Yankees?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I don't get it." So there's that perspective. And yet he lives in this town, is very actively involved in this town, has sons in high school, very active. Yet he didn't know much about that. He's been busy, his head down, working. So people have to get informed to make that decision,
Well, I've talked to a bunch of people who are also of the conservative Republican ilk who think that the trickle-down effect of this is good for the future of our economy. And while paying a sales tax now, it's not like it's a property tax or anything. It's going to be a tax that goes away. It's going to be paid for by 20 to 22% of it paid by people not from Marion County. I mean, when you think about this mall we have here. People come from Williston and all to come to this mall to shop. They don't live in this county. Mm-hmm. They would be spending their money paying for some of that tax. Everybody I've talked to thinks it's a no-brainer to bring the brand of the New York Yankees here. The only people that I've had contact with that think we need to slow down and look at this a little closely and, whoa, slow down, this may not be a good deal and all, are the 2 county commissioners we've had on, Stan McLean and Kathy Bryant.
But I understand that. They have to go slow in their jobs.
I understand. I'm just saying they're the only 2 that I've talked to.
I've heard a few. You didn't talk to Mike. You didn't talk to Mike Finn, obviously. So.
No, I did not talk to Mike Finn.
Yeah.
Although Mike would have said, "Now, Tommy, you know that what I'm saying is right."
JJ, I don't know if you weighed in on that issue or if you talked to anybody in your age about the stadium at all.
No, not specifically. My friends are pretty ignorant about it, but all they hear is, "We're getting a minor league team here. Isn't that cool?" Like that's
the details. Details to come.
Yeah, they don't really.
Well, JJ,
know.
it's your job to tell your friends, get them fired up, because your group, if we could get the 20-somethings to turn out and vote, this would be a no-brainer.
Well, I'd be anxious to think, JJ, would it be something they'd be for, you think?
Yes. Oh, definitely. All of them. Yeah, all of them would be about it. But they're all sports fans. I don't know how people my age would react if they didn't give, 2 craps about baseball or anything. But all of my friends are pro Yankees coming here. Definitely.
Well, I think the thing is that we talk about it all in the show, and we stated our position. I gave you some of my reservations yesterday, if you remember. They're not really reservations, they're questions. And I think that's one of the points that's sticking with a lot of people who are in the middle. Like, what happens to the extra $20 million? And I talked to someone today who told me that is the absolute key. If you can define what that money is going to do exactly. And this person has a lot of experience in the area, that will be a big thing. So that's one of the things we'll talk about is the money. And let's go ahead and take a break. Take us to break time. We'll come back. We'll talk about that. Mayor Gwynn was on his way in. By the way, update on the Obama administration. How many people have got a health plan? What do you think? How many think you've signed up so far?
About 55,000.
JJ, how many do you think signed up?
I heard that it was 50,000 earlier today.
Okay,
Or less than 50,000.
We'll give you well, it's better than 6 the first day, so I'm making progress.
Plus, I'll keep you updated on this shooting in Pittsburgh, where at least 3 people have been shot at a high school. So we'll tell all that next. Voice of Ocala. Plus, Mayor Kent Gwynn joins us, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. This question was an internet question that Buddy received, and it was answered by Sheriff Chris Blair of the Marion County Sheriff's Department.
So there is this issue that you see a lot of things that a lot of people just couldn't look at. And I asked during the break the sheriff, is that something you can learn? And what did you say, Chris?
Well, I think you can. I mean, you just got to take it one step at a time, you know. But the scenes we go on are certainly ones that they vary, just like investigations do. And, you know, it's mind over matter sometimes because you know that it's your job and you got to move forward. So, you know, I think you can get past it. It's going to take a little bit of time.
So remember to join us for Ask the Cop every second and fourth Friday from Community Gazette Day, live from Gateway Bank. It's brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, lawyer fighting for accident victims justice since 1976. Dr. Seaborn Hunt, a board-certified ophthalmologist, is your comprehensive medical, laser, and surgical eye care specialist for Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties. He offers services for cataract surgery, diabetes, glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, as well as a routine comprehensive eye exam. Call 873-7200 for an appointment today. No referral needed. Dr. Hunt accepts Medicare as well as most insurance plans and files the claims for you. Dr. Hunt has performed thousands of successful procedures. Call Dr. Hunt at 873-7200. That's 873-7200.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Dad jeans for men and mom jeans for women are popping up in fashion magazines, and even stylish celebrities like Kanye West and actress Ellie Fanning are sporting them. Teens today are asking for rides on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram using hashtags like I need a ride, and it usually works. Dating experts suggest that when choosing a partner, look for one who's just as strong as you are.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Where in Florida? Some sunshine today and windy and cooler than recent days. There can be a shower mainly near the coast. The high is 61 in the northernmost part of the zone to 71 in the southernmost part. Partly cloudy and quite chilly tonight. There may be a shower near the coast. Lows ranging from the upper 40s in a few inland spots to 63 at the beaches. Tomorrow, intervals of cloud and sun and breezy. There can be a shower along the coast. The high tomorrow 70 to 74. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is Joe, and I'm your host for the new show, Damage Control, every Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m., brought to you by Damage Control Services. We're going to be discussing floods, fires, storm and tree damage, sinkholes, mold, and many other disasters that you need to know about, how to prevent and prepare for them, as well as what to do when it happens and what to expect after it happens. This is Damage Control, Tuesdays at 10:30, right here on The Source.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA The Source.
program. So, by the way, the number, you guys are going to tell me, how many people do you think have now signed up for Obamacare? This is just Kim. This is just breaking story.
55,000.
JJ?
I said 50.
100,000. They hit the 100,000 mark.
100,000.
Good for them.
Which is like, one
Nothing compared to the population.
Out of 360 million
I'm not saying,
people.
don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's great. I'm saying it's terrible. So 100,000 for this much money. Not a good job. Not a good job. Before I read the letter, just to finish up on the conversation I had today with downtown, I'll put this in as few words as possible. A person who knows the lay of the land, formerly a county commissioner, asked if I knew about the proposal for the baseball stadium parking 2,000 parking lots. How much parking space count? 2,000 parking spaces. How much do you think it costs to build one parking space? One space.
To build one?
Mm-hmm.
$10.
Are you kidding me? One parking space? You're way up. $1,000 per space.
I didn't get the parking lot space built.
Yeah, really. It costs roughly $1,000 per car, is what they're saying. So they're going to have 2,000. Excuse me. So do the math on that, Tom.
2,000 times 1,000. That's 200 million.
No, not 200 million. That's
2 million. Somewhere like that.
Point being that
20 million is exactly what it is.
there was a proposal for the college, who desperately needs parking, to be able to use those spaces, which of course won't be used during the day at all. During the day, nobody either, right?
And run a shuttle.
I don't know what they do for shuttle, but they use the spaces to park in.
Well, they'd have to run a shuttle. You can't walk from where the park's going to be to the baseball.
Well, don't worry about it because the college is backed off of it. But that was one of the things I thought, wow, 2,000. Where do you get 2,000 spaces? And that was one thing that was proposed. But the college apparently has backed away from that idea. It's a little too dicey for them, I guess. That's what I'm hearing now. This is just all coffee talk. I can't verify it. I'm not publishing a story on it. I'm not going to hang my life on it. I'm just saying this is the talk. And the other thing I was told by this person who was very much in politics on the county side for a lot of years, told me that these roads you're talking about building, remember 66th Street connection?
Right.
And the other one they're talking about, I forget what it is. They've been talking about those roads for years and trying to budget the money for those roads and haven't done it.
Well, here it is.
This proposal will put it right in there.
Right, here it is.
So my point being there's all kinds of ramifications.
So there's infrastructure they've talked about doing that they hadn't had the money to do that could be done now because of it.
That's how I understand it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so that's the insight on that. Coming up here shortly, we'll talk to the mayor about that. Tom, this is the letter I wrote. You read the other one. I wrote on behalf of our friend Bob Cronin, listens to the program. And I wrote a letter saying, here's the deal. My friend Bob Cronin tells me that you called Ocala a hellhole. I want to tell you that, you should come down sometime and try it. And you would enjoy it. And I said, matter of fact, the Steinbenders live here and they want to build a ball field here, whatever, so on and so forth. And I said, by the way, it's too bad we have to let these things get mixed up in political dogma, because I think Ocala is a wonderful little place, and I think New York is a wonderful city. So in between all the politics, who cares?
Right.
So here's what he said to me, and I'll read this. He said, hey, buddy, I see one of my readers passed on our correspondence. He takes digs at my town. I counterpunch. Fun discourse, hardly political dogma. To paraphrase William A. Hubert defending Chicago, I'd rather be a lamppost in New York than a millionaire in Ocala. Actually, pause for a second. That was a Sonny Liston quote, actually. He said, I'd rather be a lamppost in Philadelphia than whatever in Miami. He said, especially this time, but since I'm a Mets fan, he says, with apologies to Dorothy Parker, I'm sure Florida's a great place to live if you're an orange. That said, Carl Hyacinth is my good friend, and I love his Sunshine State tales. Me, I'll stick with the Big Apple. That was his comment. So here's what I said to him. You can read down to where I said, give Mike my best. Just his first three paragraphs. Yeah. All right, just read down there.
Buddy replied to Dennis Hamill as, thanks for the shout back, Dennis. I understand the counterpunch thing and was doing a bit of shadow boxing myself. Used your comments to defend my city on my daily radio show. You know, territorial imperatives and all that. I had a few ex-New Yorkers follow me and always goad me into the fray. Jimmy Breslin will always be one of my true heroes for what he did for my father visiting from Florida. Dad always said he knew Breslin because he once shook his hand. I begged Jimmy to pretend like he remembered my dad on the next visit. Not only did he do that, he took Marty Martin out for coffee with his pals and invited him to come on the floor of the Democratic Convention. Breslin rocks. I will never be able to thank him enough.
Well, you can stop. The reason I put the Breslin thing in there is that Hamill said, I'll see your friend Mike Lupica at the next meeting, a deadline meeting, a night honoring Jimmy Breslin.
Right.
That's where I put the Breslin thing. Anyway, the discourse back and forth was about the cities, 2 cities, and it became a friendly exchange after what started out to be kind of a little bit of a hissing contest. Bob talking about the liberal politics of New York, et cetera, and then, of course, Dennis responding with Ocala's a hellhole. Isn't it funny why people get first impressions when you've never even been to a place?
Well, yeah, and, it's like people say, when I tell them that I live in Ocala, Florida, and they're like, why would you live in the retirement capital of the world? You're not an old person.
Right, exactly.
That's the first thing. When I tell my friends in Georgia and all, when I first told them I was moving from Hawthorne to Ocala, and by the way, Hawthorne to Ocala was a move up. No disrespect to my good friends in Hawthorne, Florida. But, Hawthorne's one little red light town. Yeah. And so when I moved to Ocala, my friend was like, what are you moving to the geriatric capital of the world? And first off, I thought, I didn't say I was moving to Fort Myers. That was my first thought.
Charlotte County was the oldest county in the country for a while.
Right. And Lee County's not much younger, let's be honest.
Exactly.
Okay. So, but that was the first impression people had of Ocala, my friends had of Ocala, was, why are you moving to the old people city?
By the way, the average age here is?
Like 41.
42, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. My age group, my demographic is the most popular.
Even younger than you.
Right.
So.
But only by a few years. But still, I know what you mean. 40-something.
By the way, you're an old codger to JJ, just so you want to know.
Oh, yeah.
So that's that story of talking about.
JJ's an old codger to a 12-year-old, though. So there you go.
It's all relative, isn't it? So anyway, I think, you got to stand up for your city once in a while and let people know. And if it's, I know it's done in good fun most of the time, but the fact remains is that it always gets me that people, and God bless my New York friends, I love them to death. They're some of the most myopic people in the world. I've told the story 100 times about my friend.
Well, they think New York exists free of everything else in the world.
I always tell the story of my friend Chuck, who used to work for me. And Chuck and I would make Sunday assignments for football games. And we had a West Coast writer. He lived in L.A., and we have a look at the game, say, Chuck would say, well, there's a big game in Denver. Kansas City's playing Denver. Let's send Norm over to cover that game. Chuck, L.A. and Denver are not side by side.
No, they're
just so you know.
What, about 1,200 miles apart, aren't they?
At least, yeah. And so I said, but Chuck was typical New Yorker who thought at the Hudson River, everything after the Hudson River dropped off the face of the earth. That was it. That was all the wasteland out there someplace, So then, anyway, I just thought that was an interesting exchange. I wanted to share that.
Well, for your friend Chuck that thought the world ended at the Hudson River, there was a meeting recently in a tiny studio of one Bruce Mozart that shows that there's another river that had a lot of world happenings going on. Bruce had some good-looking women in his studio recently.
Well, he did, and they're older women like me. I think they're very attractive. I happen to know 2 of them very well, and used to work at Silver Springs. And they both modeled there, and both friends of mine. And there was a nice article today. I'm talking about Pat McLaughlin Nelson, Pat's late husband Billy, I knew really well, and Betty Haskins, who was sort of the darling of the whole. People, they're not mermaids. People think of mermaids. Mermaids in Wekiwachi Springs. That's a different animal. Underwater modeling and stuff. Betty went on to become very famous. And actually, wound up as the runner-up, I believe, runner-up from Miss Florida. Right here, and you know where she's from? Out by Reddick, but she's in Martin. You know where Martin is?
I do know where Martin is.
That's really out in the sticks out there.
I know exactly where Martin is.
Betty lives here now, of course.
That's right out. That's my neck of the woods in this area.
So, Gerald and Pat, of course, Pat was from out. They both went to what was then Anthony, and then North Marion High School.
Well, it's North Marion High School, right?
Yeah. And as Gerald Ergel said, I grew up in Citra, and we always thought those people up in Reading had the best looking girls anywhere around.
Well, yeah.
So, but anyway, so Betty will be joining us with Bruce, and I think hopefully Pat McLaughlin Nelson, to go to relive the glory days of when Silver Springs. You saw some of the things they did. My gosh, they were on Today's Show with Dave Garraway.
Yeah.
A ton of things. Big deal. You can't believe how internationally well known that these people.
Well, no, because that's the thing that I feel like people under the age of 45 missed. Because the under 45 crowd, Disney World was open by then, so Silver Springs started to wane. But you know this to be fact, buddy. I know this to be fact. See, Silver Springs was a nationally, if not world famous bumper sticker that was everywhere in the late 60s and 70s. Everywhere.
I'll tell you this story.
See, Silver Springs was a big deal.
You bet. Just like Sea Rock City became a big deal years later.
Right. Oh, south of the border in the 90s.
But Springs was first. Here's what I'm going to tell you about, and I'll come back at the break, is that I did a talk the other day to Best Version Media.
Right.
We talked about a seed, talked about seed and how it can grow, and how you can plant a seed in Ocala that can become internationally well known. And that's what we're talking about.
Voice of Ocala radio program.
I have evidence of that because I talked about, starting in Ocala, the Star Banner, and friends that got work with me that went on from here to become nationally well-known people. I started right here. And the message I want to get to people like JJ and other people who want to aspire to do something really good, internationally or nationally, is that you can do it by planting your seed right here. And I think we saw that example of these people who were at Silver Springs. And just recently, Tito Comas was on the cover of this little magazine, Downtown Neighbors. As a result of that, he was hired by somebody in South America to do a job for a development that he's down in Ecuador of 100 units, all because they were in a little neighborhood magazine right here. So that'll be the message we talk about.
So what are you saying? If we get JJ a small article about JJ in this magazine, he'll end up being a world-renowned soccer broadcaster?
JJ is on his way to the big time, without question. Let's take a break.
You're listening to Voice of Ocala with Buddy Martin on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com, The Source.
Whenever something big happens in Ocala and Marion County, Buddy Martin is there on the case.
John Gruden, ESPN Monday Night Football, today spoke to the group here at the Gateway Bank. I'm going to play a little game of just word association with you. One, Ocala.
Ocala is just a great community. It's a great group of people.
John Gruden coaching again.
One of these days I'll be back.
So remember, always check out Buddy Martin on the Voice of Ocala on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, it's our business to make your business better. Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today. Recently, I had a great conversation with General Manager Pat Murray on the special events at Country Club of Ocala.
We have a lot of special events here that are geared towards the family. Easter comes to mind. We have an Easter bunny who hops around on the driving range. We usually hide somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 eggs and turn them loose and let them go harvest the eggs. We have a great family celebration here on the 4th of July where it's a traditional cookout, if you will. And as the sun goes down, the driving range becomes alive with probably one of the better fireworks displays in the area. Breakfast with Santa is a big deal.
Country Club of Ocala, where the Easter Bunny, Santa, and all the children, large and small, are a big deal on every special occasion. For more information, call 352-237-6644. That's 237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of the Monday Gator Report right here on The Source.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Dr. Gregory Sison. He's a neonatologist at the Pediatrics Medical Group in Atlanta, and Crystal Deal, a prematurity advocate and mother of 2 preemie babies. They'll be on the air to speak to us about protecting our children from a respiratory virus.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then Hank Whittier will be in the studio bringing you veterans news as he does each and every Thursday.
Michael Stoward is an independent consultant for aspiring gospel artists, jazz artists, and writers. He's written a book called Lifeology 101. If all else fails, smile. It's his memoir.
And then Wendy Cook, BJ Jacobs, and Yankee Girl will be in the studio from True Grits Restaurant. They'll be talking about the food they serve over there and getting us hungry.
Dr. John Grace is a board-certified psychiatrist. He'll be in the studio speaking about Dash for Dementia, the fundraising event for the Memory Enhancement Center.
All of that plus fun with Joe on the next day of Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you're interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, call 804-3700.
Stay informed on everything going on in the Villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the Villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Descended like flies. Put us back on the train.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala with Buddy Martin. I think Mayor Kent Gwynn's on the line. Buddy, you got the mayor with you?
Mayor Gwynn.
I'm here.
We're going to try something here. We had this conversation yesterday with Angie Lewis and Allison Campbell. About some of and they were all both very positive, but they had some concerns and questions. So we thought we'd just play this clip and hopefully you can hear it and you can respond to that because like others, other people have the same question. So why don't you give a listen and give us your comment, okay?
I'll try.
JJ, roll it.
I feel like if it is run by our city, that it needs to be a multi-purpose complex, and there needs to be a lot of things going on out there at the time. But whenever you bring that, I agree with you. They're not gonna notice this piece. And I love what Brad Rogers said a couple of weeks ago. Is when we're making these decisions like this for our community, we need to be thinking about how does this impact our children. The children now. So again, this goes back to what Tom's saying, is it needs to be about the families that live here, that work here, that plan to stay here, and for the children that are going to grow up in the community and hopefully come back and work in the community if we have things for them to come back and do.
Do you hear that, Kent?
Yes.
Okay, so the context of that was, Tom's comment yesterday was, what are you so worried about having the referendum? And when everybody comes back, the people from up north, because the people who are going to support it are the ones who live here year-round. That was the first thing that Tom said. And the second thing was, Tom, what was the other point you made?
I said that.
What did Angie say?
I said that if you want to do the vote in March, that's when I think you should have it, because the snowbirds don't live here year-round, so they're not the one. And besides, baseball's played during the summer anyway, and they're not going to be here. So they're voting for something that's going to impact me when they're not here.
So, and the other thing was reference to the money and the tax. I think she was talking about.
Yeah. You don't want people that pay taxes just half the time when they're making decisions, it affects people that pay taxes 365 days.
Let's get the mayor's reaction to that. Kent, what'd you think of that?
Okay, well, the first part that I think Angie was talking about families, and then you're talking about the different events that you're having.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got 20 different events that we can have, and yes, it's all about families. And I keep mentioning the one in Dayton, Ohio, and I had spoken to who was the then mayor, Michael Turner, who is now Congressman Turner. He said their stadium is all about families. It's a family event. It's moms, dads, kids, grandpas, grandmas, coming to the game with their families. Corporations coming with 20 or 30 employees to the game. So yeah, it's about bringing the community together. And it's about family events. She also mentioned something in there about who would run the park.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know about.
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees are going to maintain the park, but as far as the different events that will be scheduled and run, I would imagine either the city or the city and the county together. But we do a pretty good job of scheduling those events, so I'm going to guess that would be us. The other thing Tom was just talking about people being up north when this is done in March. I mean, the thing called absentee ballot that they get automatically sent to wherever they are. So they've had it scheduled to be sent to them there. So they will vote. They'll just vote while they're back up north and mail it back in.
I think the point was maybe even there could be a committee or a trustee group, whatever, could help, or some oversight group somehow or other in between the county and the city and the Yankees too, perhaps. I don't know. All right, let me play this Brother Bite. This is from Allison Campbell, talking about her concerns. This is yesterday's interview. Go ahead, JJ. Roll it.
The other question that will be great for the community to know is how will the extra money be spent? I think that there's not enough being said about that. And if people started realizing that we're talking about a surplus of $20+ million that can go to additional projects beyond this stadium and baseball, I think that's a greater picture as well. The only other question really that I have is, okay, so if we do get this special election, then who's putting the money, the manpower, all of that behind the project to make sure that it gets passed? I remember that a couple of years ago when we did have a 50-cent sales tax for schools, and it actually did pass, there was a lot of effort by the school board and the Kevin Christian and those with the school board to make sure that they did get it passed. So who is going to be doing all that if we do, in fact, take it to special election?
Those are great questions. Okay.
And go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the answer to that question is, well, right now we just got out of a meeting that started at 2, but had to go swear in some police officers. But that discussion came up, and the ballot language will be in there. It's not going to be real specific. We're going to leave it to the county and give it to them and figure out how specific they want it. But it'll talk about economic development, tourism, related projects. Now, there's going to be, or could be, I'm saying there could be even more than the $82 million that would be, collected at the end of the 5 years, depending on the economy, takes off, and there's more spending that happens. So we're talking about $22 million. It may be even more than that. Now, as far as who's going to do the campaign, we would. Well, at this point in time, we're trying to get past the 21st. When the 21st comes, yes, there will have to be a campaign manager, someone that knows how to run a political campaign, who's done specifically a political campaign for a referendum, who has a great, mail person, phone calls, et cetera, boots on the ground type manager that can get out the vote. And signs, yard signs, et cetera, et cetera. So all that's going to have to be done. But we're right now just focusing on the 21st. We haven't even gotten to that point yet.
Yeah, and a lot of work to be done.
Yes, Allison's absolutely right. That's got to be done.
Yeah, those are key points. Keep coming back. Okay, we'll have a forum tomorrow on this thing. And 4 o'clock, we'll talk more about it, and we'll catch up with you next Wednesday at your regular spot.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. Like I said, I had to swear him some police officers.
Understood. Sometimes the mayor's job is a little more important than this radio show. Sad as it is, it's true.
Sad as it is.
Sometimes.
It says, JJ says only sometimes.
I'm going with most of the time.
Thank you, Kent. Appreciate it. Mary
All
Kent,
right,
go ahead.
thank you.
All right. Let's read this. This talk about being addicted to something. That's not the segue I meant to have, but I want to read this because it came out of a New York magazine. And you talk about somebody being addicted to the variety of things. This woman was an author. And she wrote a book about wrongness, about how many of those things are wrong. And she was the least cyber savvy person around. She couldn't even knew how to send a tweet or anything. Not a pretty young woman. So she tells her story about how she began to build this up, and this Twitter became a monster, and she didn't like it when it became. So this is what she said as her postscript to the article online. Tom, if you read that. This is what she said about the addiction to Twitter. By the way, I use Twitter every day, probably an hour to hour and a half, and I probably get two-thirds of what I get off from this show.
She says, I have myself come down with an addiction. This is something of a paradox since having an addiction feels quite a lot like not being me. I don't smoke. I average maybe 5 drinks a month. I've tried the predictable range of drugs, most of them exactly once. I've steered clear of things like online boggle and words with friends, well aware they could torpedo the productivity of a writer who works from home. I've never before gone mad for any type of technology. Even the internet did not particularly seduce me before the Twitter portal. I used it only for email and for targeted research as recently as 2009. I probably spent an average of under 30 minutes a day online. I didn't have a cell phone until 2004, but didn't have a smartphone until 2010. I only got addicted to coffee 3 years ago, but then came along that damned Bluebird, which seems to have built with uncanny precision to hijack my kind of mind.
Addicted to Twitter. That's pretty good, I thought. Okay, all sincere, it's time to finish the last 5 minutes up with Fake or Factoid, coming up next right here on Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Dry, itchy, scaly skin? Do you have psoriasis? Consider joining our research study. Renstar Medical Research in Ocala is conducting a research study evaluating the effectiveness of investigational combination of 2 study medications for moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. You may qualify if you're between the ages of 18 and 75 and have been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis for at least 6 months. For more information, please call Renstar in Ocala at 352-629-5800. Qualified participants may receive study-related medical care and study medication. Compensation for time and travel may also be provided. To find out more information about this psoriasis study, please call Renstar Medical Research at 352-629-5800. That's 352-629-5800. Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Hi, I'm Yvette
Gazette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
WOCA.
We're back in the voice of Ocala, wrapping up hour 2 with this game that Buddy loves and we're all bored with, Fake or Factoid.
You know what? It doesn't really matter whether you're
No, it's the voice of Ocala with Buddy Martin. We have to play it.
So we play. Here we go. Number 1, fake or factoid. If you want to own a New York City taxi, you have to buy a medallion. The auction's tomorrow. Average price hovers around $1 million each. That's per medallion, per cap.
Fact.
Fact.
Fake.
JJ's got one wrong. It is in fact true. $1 million each for a day.
Yep. You know what a liquor license in this state's going for about $200,000.
Different topic. Number 2, pit bulls are wired differently because of their native culture, cannot be tamed to become totally domesticated any more than lions or tigers.
Fake.
Fake.
I thought it was pretty good. It's fact, it is fake.
I got one at home.
I've raised them all my life.
I know. That's why I gave you guys something in your wheelhouse. We'll see how good you are the rest of the way. Number 3, twerking is actually good exercise.
True.
It works the deep muscles of the hips. Listen to the whole thing, as well as the core muscles of the lower back and abs.
True.
Fact.
You guys are hot today. That's all fact. Correct. Number 4, red velvet cake reduces risk of depression by improving a person's mood. It stimulates the brain's pleasure center.
Yes.
Fact.
Just thinking about it. Fact.
Red velvet cake?
I love red velvet cake.
I'm going to say fake just because both of them said fact.
You're wrong, Austin. This is in fact true.
Dude, red velvet cake is the bomb.
Oh, I agree, but I just thought I'd go differently.
What's the score?
JJ's missed one, Austin's missed one, and I have not.
Big guy's tough today. Okay, a study conducted at McMaster University showed that men with lower voices are more likely to be unfaithful.
I don't even think that's a real place. I'm going to say fake.
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 I'm going to make up a time.
McMaster.
Fake. McMaster University.
All three got me, huh? Wrong, it's true.
Oh, man.
It's a real place.
So
what was it? Because I stopped listening immediately
I know.
after.
What's that
why
mean?
I loved it.
What's that mean? Because I have a deeper voice. I'm unfaithful.
Yeah,
Low voice.
Deeper, like low.
Whisper.
Conducted at McMaster. I love that.
No, they meant low, like deep.
You can Google it. Okay, what's the score?
JJ's missed 2, Austin's missed 2, I missed 1.
Okay, so you're sitting out the mulligan. This is second place or what?
No,
I'll take a mulligan.
I can't lose.
Well, now here's the thing: if JJ unmisses,
No, because I've only missed 1, even if he unmisses.
okay. All right. Well,
You let JJ win, even though I'd unmissed.
Okay, JJ, the planet Neptune was mathematically predicted before it was directly observed, based on the orbit of Uranus.
I'm going to say fact on that.
Need a bell. That's correct. You're right. All right, Austin. Do you want number 2 or 3? Which one do you want? Pick one. You get to pick one.
Give me 3 because I like 3-pointers in
3.
basketball.
The state with the highest height average for men, 6'1.5", is Massachusetts.
Fake.
Out of curiosity, what do you guys think?
What state or what the average height is?
No, the state with the highest average.
I'm going to say North Dakota.
Is Massachusetts.
Oh, fake. It's not Massachusetts.
I'm going to say definitely fake.
It's all fake.
There's no average of 6'1".
So JJ and Austin both have
You almost went
unmissed
for it.
one. So now you got
And all the Irish people in Massachusetts.
Buddy, you got to go for all that. Buddy, you got to go down for the
All right,
tiebreaker.
Here we go. This is a tiebreaker. The Nile River is how many miles long?
I'm gonna
over
say,
under.
I'm gonna say 400.
400.
All right, 400 miles. Austin.
I'm gonna say 1,000.
1,000 miles.
1,000.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, take a guess. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it's about 1,600 miles.
1,600.
Dang.
All good guesses. Nowhere close. 4,184 miles.
I knew it was much longer than 400.
Go.
So Austin got closer to JJ.
You won. Tom's the winner. Coming up next, Collie Murphy. Is he going to play or not? A former famous Raider player has died. We interview Bill Rabinowitz from Ohio State. Coming up next on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Let's talk turkey. Chris Spears here from Prestige Auto Sales. With the holidays coming and the in-laws already in town, I don't have time to go to the auction.
We need your help to stuff our lot with cars like a Thanksgiving Day bird. Quit that old car you hate, cold turkey.
Based on the sale price of the car you choose, you can get up to $3,758 more than the appraised value of your old car. Fed up with your old ride? You can drive a nicer, newer car today.
Is your credit fried? My For the People credit approval process butters up the bankers to help you get approved.
If I don't get more cars soon, I'm cooked. Help me stuff my lot like a Thanksgiving Day turkey. Based on the sale price of the car you choose, you can get up to $3,758 more than the appraised value of your old car. But hurry, this deal ends after we've helped 47 people get fat in a nicer, newer car. My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala or call 694-1234. Yes, 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Hi, it's Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness. I'm looking forward to a fun, healthy summer, and I have a few ideas that might just help you and your friends stay in shape and have fun too. Along with awesome personal training and group classes at our warm and inviting fitness studio, we also offer fitness classes at your home or business. And if you're tired of the same old, boring cake and punch party, why not let us host a hot new health trend, a fitness party at your home or office? If you're having a hard time getting to the gym this summer, because of your crazy schedule, then work out with your friends or coworkers in a private group fitness class or host a fitness party at your home or office. We will bring you and your friends or coworkers one of our great workouts like Zumba, Pilates, Body Bar, Yoga, Tai Chi Boot Camp, or Zumba Tonics for kids. We can even help you reach your long-term goals by meeting at your place weekly for an on-location workout. Check out our website at kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. Kinetic Motion Fitness is located just 5 minutes from downtown Ocala near the Skylark Plaza. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are.
Your home for Florida State football all season long. WOCA, The Source.
WOCA,
Hey, it's Christy with Ocala Mac and PC Repair and Ocala Guest Wi-Fi to let you know we have you covered. We are the only local certified Apple and Microsoft computer company in Ocala. We are family owned and operated. From mobile repair to wireless networks, viruses, new systems, or security cameras, we do it all. Check us out online, ocalamacpc.com, or give us a call, 352-566-8324.
Tell them Nick, Madison, or Mason sent you and get free diagnostic.
Get your internet telephone service from the company that brought affordable internet service to Ocala in the first place. All is Safe is a sister company of Ocala Guest Wi-Fi, a company you've known and trusted for all your internet needs. Whether you need a phone or hundreds, we've got the products and services to meet your needs both now and in the future. Our plans include everything from local and long-distance calling to equipment maintenance and even software upgrades. You can count on All is Safe to give you cost certainty knowing that your bill will be the same next week, next month, or even next year. Call 352-450-8647 today to learn how to cut your monthly telephone bill up to 60%.
Ugh, what wrong? Ugh, need wood for fire. Ugh, I go get. Ugh, I got wood for fire. Ugh, what takes so long?
Had to use restroom. Someone not refill toilet paper.
Ugh, my bad. You wash hands?
Ugh, of course. Ugh, what caveman you take me for?
You know, Dan, people who save money by switching to Mike Scott Plumbing sure are happy.
Well, Brittany, how happy are they?
Happier than a caveman with indoor plumbing.
Yep. Get happy. Get Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it. 237-2888.
The following message is brought to you by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
This hurricane season, the most important thing you can do for your family and your business is to develop a hurricane preparedness plan. Florida's Division of Emergency Management's website, floridadisaster.org, now has a planning tool that will help you come up with your plan. All it takes is a few minutes to get a plan to better protect your family and your business when a hurricane threatens. Get a plan. Get yours at floridadisaster.org.
Stay informed on everything going on in the Villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the Villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Binger, the numbers are in, and they're not good. The White House just says 106,185 Americans selected a qualified health insurance plan using either healthcare.gov or a state exchange. 79,391 got theirs through one of their state marketplaces. Next time you go for a checkup, don't be surprised if your doctor gets on your case about your weight. The medical profession is issuing new guidelines for fighting the obesity epidemic, and they urge physicians to be a lot more aggressive about helping patients drop those extra pounds. This is good news as we head into a busy holiday travel season. The Department of Transportation says almost 84% of domestic flights arrived on time in September. That's a little better than a year ago, and it's a big improvement over July and August. The head of Lululemon says he's sorry for the problems with his company's yoga pants, which were recalled for being too sheer. He says they're just not meant for everybody. This is ABC News.
Dad, what are you doing in my cape?
I'm not Dad. I'm Safety Man.
Any parent can be a safety hero. It just takes a few simple steps. Start by replacing older smoke alarms with Kidde worry-free alarms. The 10-year sealed-in lithium battery means these alarms are always on. No low battery chirps and no battery replacement for 10 years. And Kidde makes it simple to choose the right alarm for the right location. Help make fire safety worry-free and give back the cape. Kidde worry-free alarms available at the Home Depot.
Let's get it started.
It's a great day to be a CPA, because this bean counter has a new asset, the new Services Center at OfficeMax. Their team set us up with cloud storage to safely back up our client files and access them remotely. We saved big on IT support. Cutting costs and securing files? We're certified, not crazy.
Get special introductory offers at the new OfficeMax Services Center. You'll find over 30 business and tech services. Learn more in-store or at officemax.com/service.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slice.
And now, here's Buddy.
All right, welcome to Buddy Sports Page on a Wednesday, cold Wednesday. This is winter. I'll tell you why. I know it's winter. Here's how I know. You questioned my comment about that, Tom, earlier. The first time I ever went north, really north, in my life, I was in my teens, like 19, 18. I went up to Toronto with my friend Ed, and we stopped in Buffalo, New York. I was wearing my Florida pants, okay? We got out of the car and I walked around the corner. I thought I was being cut in half with a saw. The ice and the cold wind blowing off that lake in Buffalo, it was brutal. That's when I said, okay, there's a little difference here. So I always remember that. I remember the first time when I worked in Jacksonville. I used to get up and drive. I worked up in Jacksonville, and I'd get up and drive and get up there at 5:30, and I'd walk around the corner of the Old Times Union Building.
Yeah, I know it well.
And the wind would come off that river and cut you in half, okay? So, and I know what it's like to be cold in Colorado and in New York City. This morning, I went for gas, stopped on my way down to get my coffee at Starbucks. Got out.
Gas very cheap right now, by the way.
No, not that cheap. I thought it was going to be
I saw $3.17 right here.
$3.21 I paid this morning. So I thought, where's the cheap gas?
$3.15 near my house.
Well, it's not where I go, on the boulevard. So anyway, so I get out, and I only have on this, not even this, I had on this red sweater. And I take the pump out, and I start to put it in, and that wind came around that corner. It really felt cold. So I'm saying, okay, I don't care what the calendar says. For me, it's winter. So when I say winter, that's winter. When I'm that cold, my body tells me it's winter. So there you go. JJ, let's talk about headlines.
Old and frail.
Yeah. Last night, well, it was sort of the beginning of college basketball season. Everybody's played one or two games, but this was basically what kicked everything off last night with number 2 playing number 1, number 4 playing number 5, and the Gators traveling to Wisconsin to play number 20, the Badgers. They lost last night. Depleted team, not going to be the same team you see later on in the year. 59-53. Duke played Kansas last night, 4 versus 5. Wiggins versus Jabari Parker. These two guys probably going to be number 1, number 2 overall picks in this spring's NBA draft. Parker scored more points, but Wiggins' team with the win, 94-83 in a high-scoring game last night.
If you ask me about the eyeball test, though, JJ, between Wiggins and Parker, I'm taking Parker before I take Wiggins so far.
So far. 2 games in. And also, number 1 went down last night to Michigan State, 78-74. Michigan State had a pretty big lead early. And yesterday, Dwayne Bowe, we didn't talk about it, got arrested for smoking marijuana in his car.
While speeding.
Yes. He was arrested. But
big game this weekend,
yes,
Kansas City, Denver.
You already know.
Yep.
He will play this weekend.
Oh, well, there's a surprise.
So you can bully another teammate and maybe never play again, but you get caught smoking weed, you're fine.
There you go.
He will play this weekend in a huge game in the AFC West between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Broncos. Massive. And the biggest player in that game, obviously Peyton Manning, took a rare day off today to get treatment on his ailing right ankle, but is still expected. They're pretty much guaranteeing that he will play on Sunday.
The line probably dropped when he went into heaven.
Yes, just for not practicing.
This is a guy that played 2 seasons with a broke neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Buddy's been talking about it for, over a year or so. Youth football participation drops in the largest youth football program, Pop Warner, over the last 2 years, came out today by Outside the Lines with ESPN. Almost 10%, 9.5% participation drop.
That's a huge drop.
Yeah, between 2010 and 2012.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be football players.
Yes,
I mean, that's what's happening.
According to that data, they've lost about 23,500 players.
Buddy, I think there's a lot of dads, because if I don't have any children, and I played football, but if I had a son, I would do everything in my power to persuade him to play golf or baseball or basketball, not the game of football.
Well, for sure. I mean, that's look, I love the game of football. I love playing the game of football.
You don't want your grandson Alexander to go anywhere near
it. It wouldn't matter if I did, because no way. Now, soccer has become, and JJ, your sports have become more popular than ever because of it. Football is the new football is now soccer, as they call it over here, the European version. That's what it's going to be in the future. Maybe they'll put some pads on and get a little rougher one day, but whatever.
Watch the English Premier League. They're rough.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Big news up on, if I say big, what could be worse than playing South Carolina and Columbia, Steve Spurrier on Saturday night?
Being Florida, having to play Columbia Saturday night.
Without your quarterback.
Yeah.
Possibility, Tyler Murphy might miss the South Carolina game.
So who is the backup if need be?
Morningwig.
Morningwig, son.
All right, I got to stop you for 1 second. Coming up in just a minute, we're going to have the author of the book Buckeye Rebirth on Ohio State football. And then, bottom of the hour, we'll get Mark Long to tell us more about the situation with Murphy and last night's basketball game. Back to basketball, big breaking news story. You ready? What was the big story last night? Number one got beat.
Wiggins versus Parker.
Here's the big story about the most important player I know. Just in from Reading, Pennsylvania, Gracie Bell Simmons has made the travel team in basketball. Yay! How about that?
Buddy's granddaughter.
Oh, I'm not sure where we're going with that.
It's a very big deal. A fifth grade traveling team. She just got the bulletin. Gracie Bell, way to go, babe. That's great news for the Martin household and the Simmons household and the Dubak household.
It's on the ESPN bottom line, actually, since you said that.
It's on
ESPN.
It's a lead story, JJ. Yes. Should be a lead story.
And we talked the other day about, before we talk about the Buckeyes for a second.
Yeah, go about.
Urban Meyer's player sort of said something. He should have put his foot in his mouth. Urban came out yesterday. We didn't talk about it because we were talking baseball. And basically said, this guy's not going to talk to the media anymore. We don't say stuff like that. Shut up.
Hang on 1 second. We've got the story coming up with Bill Rabinowitz. That story is going to be one of the things we talk about. The wide receiver who said, and I saw the interview, he didn't say very much, by the way.
No.
He said they could wipe the face of the earth with...
Wipe the floor
with whatever it is. And he said it so nonchalant. Did you see the interview?
Yeah, the context was...
Really, just common.
Context was, so now that Oregon's lost, it's Florida State. What do you think about Florida State and Alabama? We wiped the floor with them. It was said like that.
Half
and then,
in jest.
Yeah, and then ESPN and everybody made it a big deal. Like he said, we'd wipe the floor with those guys. He didn't. He with a smile on his face, and I said, we'd wipe the floor with those guys.
Yeah, now, just way to roll over my story, JJ, the big breaking news for us. They just completely blew it off like it was nothing, okay? Anyway, congratulations to Gracie Bell. All right, coming up next, Bill Rabinowitz, the author of the book Buckeye Rebirth. All you Ohio State fans who are out there cheering on your team, trying to get undefeated, even though you might not make it to the national championship game.
How crazy is that? They could go 24-0 and still never play for
not
national
lost
title.
a game.
And not play for national title.
But I just got a little feeling.
Not going to happen.
2006. Florida, what happened? Look it up. We'll see.
Alabama proved against LSU that there's not many that are out there that can beat them.
Hang on 1 second.
Beat Alabama.
Hang on 1 second.
Their team.
Hang on 1 second. Did you pick Stanford to beat Oregon? Okay, you can't say anything then, all right?
Alabama is the only team that can beat Alabama.
We'll see. There's also a team called Florida State.
Syracuse this week, by the way.
Sometimes when it's in the cards, you think strange things happen in November.
You just want your guy Urban to get a chance to win
I'm saying, well, that would be okay too, but my point is I wouldn't mind seeing the Seminoles get a chance to play. It'd be good, and I respect Alabama. I'm just saying as a guy who's gone through a couple of football seasons, strange things happen in November, okay? They already started happening.
I'm hoping against it. You're hoping for it, and I'm hoping against it.
All right, we'll take a break. Come back after this timeout.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source. Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family will ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
WOCA. Hi, this is Brad. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a pilot's license. This will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484.
Universal Soil Solutions wants to know when the last time you took a good look at your property. Noticed any driveway cracks, stair-step cracks in your block, or even foundation cracks? It may or may not be a sinkhole, but a visual inspection by a trained professional must be performed. Experts in sinkhole remediation, cosmetics, remodeling, and even complete construction development. Universal Soil Solutions provides that inspection for free. To schedule your free property inspection, you must call now, 877-519-2777. That's 877-519-2777.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
WOCA, Ocala.
Back on the Voice of Ocala. Buddy Sports Page. Big night in NCAA men's basketball last night. Even though it's early in the season. Number 1 played number 2 last night. Number 4 played number 5 last night. Number 11 played number 20 last night. Big thing was in all 3 of those games, which I watched all of them, the lower-ranked team won all the games, buddy. Michigan State, number 2, beat number 1, Kentucky. Number 5, Kansas beat number 4, Duke. Number 20, Wisconsin beat number 11, Florida. But the number 11, Florida, that walked out on the team should have been about half. Cause it should have been about 22 because it didn't have all the players.
You know, what I want to think about is how did this come about? Is that they're all sitting around the table one day, say, let's get all these teams, ranked teams together, and get them to play each other. I'm figuring, how'd that go? That must have been something that shows you who rules the roost.
Cash money, cash.
It's not only that.
They were all on ESPN, by the way.
Right.
Exactly.
What a surprise.
All right, time now to go to our hotline and talk to a man who was just finishing a book called Buckeye Rebirth. Let's see wonder what it's about. And Bill Rabinovich joins us now. He's a reporter and writer of columnist for the Columbus Dispatch, and he's on the line now. Hi, Bill. How you doing?
Buddy, how are you? Nice to be on with you.
I'm sorry my voice is just about half there, but if I happen to gasp, my guys here will pick it up. Tell me about...
Well, Urban's got a cold, and my beat partner, Tim May's got a cold. I think I'm the only one who's escaped it so far.
It's going to go... It's going here, and cold weather doesn't do with it. Although it's cold here today, believe it or not. You got some snow up there, I understand, huh?
Yesterday we did. It's fine today.
Yeah. Okay.
Balmy and about 35.
There you go. Yeah. I'm going to read the book description, just if you don't mind, and then we can go from there. It came out October the 1st. In the liner notes say Ohio State University's remarkable 2012 season, beginning of a new era in the Big Ten school. I'll recall in this fascinating account, it tells the story of Urban Meyer, who accepted the job as head coach at Ohio State just before the NCAA banned the Buckeyes from postseason play in 2012, rendering them ineligible for the Big Ten championship and bowl games. Meyer ultimately rose to the challenge of motivating a group of players to commit to the program. Despite the ban, the book recounts what turned out to be one of the most remarkable seasons in Ohio State's 123-year history. So that's what the liner notes say. What say the author? What do you say the book's about?
Well, it is about the 2012 season, but it's also about how he laid the foundation for future success at Ohio State, and also how he kind of saved himself. I mean, as you know, buddy, I mean, your book was in some ways a blueprint for what I ended up pursuing. He was so hard driving at Florida that he just, burnout doesn't even do it justice. He was spent emotionally, physically. He was spent. One of the stories I tell in the book is his daughter coming home for winter break and hugging her father, and he had lost 30 pounds and she barely recognized him almost. So that side of it, I think the human side of it is what I really wanted to tell.
Let me ask you a couple questions. First of all, and I certainly don't want to talk about my book because this is about your book, but in doing the Urban's Way book, as much as I thought I knew him, I had a really, really hard time in getting him to really grind down and talk about his personal life at that point in time. And it was really sort of magical. I think you might have read the book about one morning, finally, the last minute, on the sunrise over his lake home. He suddenly clicked and everything started coming out. How tough was it for you to get Urban to open up to do this book?
It was not that difficult. I was pleasantly surprised because I prepared myself for him to be very guarded. And what really helped, honestly, was talking to Shelley for as long as I did. His wife was great. I talked to Shelley for probably 3 hours. And so she kind of gave me the whole background so I could go back to Urban and say, what about this? You know, this is what Shelley said. Tell me about this. And that helped a lot. And I also talked to Nikki, as I said, and kind of getting a daughter's perspective, it was really helpful. Look, there was no getting around the fact that he worked himself to, I mean, he didn't work himself to death, but he worked himself into illness at Florida. And it was important. There were kind of two battles he was fighting last year. One was to win games on the scoreboard, and the other was to do so in a way in which he didn't fall into the same trap that he fell into in Gainesville.
Which was, of course, working himself into that hole. And everybody predicted that was what would happen to Urban one day. He would, in fact, burn out. Now, down here, Urban is not as popular, you might understand, as he is in Columbus.
Yeah, I think I have gotten that sense. Yes.
Yeah, we get a lot of feedback. I get a lot of people who are always talking about me and why would I want to be considered Urban Meyer friend, etc., whatever. What do they think of him in Columbus?
Well, they love him because he's 21-0. And I also think that he's restored a lot of pride to the program. This program was beaten down so much by what happened with the tattoo scandal. This is such a proud program. And for Ohio State to go 6-7, more losses than they'd ever had or had since the 19th century, was just unfathomable to people. I used to joke that if Ohio State had ever gone 3-8 like Michigan did under Rich Rodriguez, grown men would be jumping out of buildings. It is incredibly, people here are incredibly passionate about Ohio State, and Urban Meyer is an Ohioan, and that matters. So a guy who's come back home, who grew up with Archie Griffin. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can edit.
Yeah, that's okay. Archie Bunker's a little different game. That's okay.
Archie Griffin posters on his bedroom wall. People have asked me this, and I've agreed. I think this job is as much a calling for him as it is a coaching job. He's an Ohioan. He's thrilled to be back here. Shelley's from Ohio. It's more than a job to him. And for him to have restored the tradition and gotten Ohio State back toward the top of the college football world is something people here are very grateful for.
So he is to Ohio State what Spurrier was to Florida, one of their own. And he, of course, was a GA there, and he grew up loving the red and gray, and for him it was a coming home of sorts. Let's switch gears and talk about the football team. By all accounts, people are saying, well, they really look good. They're winning games, but they're beating only Big Ten opponents. They're third now. People are saying they'll be the ones left at the dance. That obviously they think Florida State and Alabama will go. What's the view up there?
I think that is the view, that if Alabama and Florida State keep winning, then they will go, and probably deservedly so. I mean, you have some people here that think Ohio State should be going, but I think they're a minority. I think people understand that Alabama's won 2 straight national championships, and they've done nothing this year to make people think they don't belong in that game. Florida State has been very, very impressive. I don't think Ohio State fans would, for the most part, be upset or feel like they got cheated if it's Alabama and Florida State, if those two teams go undefeated. If Baylor surpasses them, or especially if Stanford surpasses them with a loss, that'll be a different story. But Baylor's got a bunch of games to prove themselves still. I agree with those people who say that Stanford should not go ahead of Ohio State. I think Ohio State's done everything they could possibly do. Yeah, they could have beaten a couple teams a little more soundly. I mean, the Wisconsin game, if he had to do over again, he might kind of keep his pedal to the metal a little bit more, but they were milking the clock with a 17-point lead. Ohio State has done what they can do.
We're talking with Bill Rabinowitz. Sorry, Bill. This is Tom Schmitz. Let me ask you this. Junior wide receiver Spencer came out earlier with a comment when asked about Florida State and Alabama. We'd wipe the floor with them. Now, I've seen the comment, and it was more in my opinion, more of an off-the-cuff, like humorous comment of, yeah, we'll wipe the floor with those guys. What's the feeling up there?
Yeah, I actually asked the question. So I was there, and to be honest, actually that's not what you said happened is not what happened. I never asked about Florida State. He never brought up Florida State. Florida State was never part of the conversation. And he said wipe the field, not the floor, which might make a subtle difference. The question was, somebody asked him, did you watch this weekend's big games? The Oregon-Stanford game, Alabama-LSU, and Baylor-Oklahoma. He said, yeah. And I said, well, what did you think? I said, well, how would you guys do against them, you think? He said, well, I'm biased, but I think we'd wipe the field with both of them. I said, both of them, Alabama and who? And he said, well, whoever. And he said, yeah, again, that's just me. He was laughing and joking. I mean, it was nothing. And then I see these things on Twitter where it's Evan Spencer says we would crush Florida State. Well, Florida State was never even mentioned. And so I kind of feel bad for the kid. I mean, he's a nice kid. He's a smart kid. He's the son of Tim Spencer, the former Ohio State star and longtime NFL assistant coach. I mean, he's a smart kid. And he shouldn't have said what he said in terms of wiping the field. That was probably not the best choice of words. But he didn't mean any disrespect. In fact, he came out on Twitter later and said, "Look, I misspoke. I did not mean to be disrespectful." And that's obviously what Urban Meyer said. He said he won't talk to the media for a long, long time.
One more.
It's amazing how things just take off. It's amazing how things just take on a life of their own now.
See what you media guys cause?
Twitter has its advantages and its disadvantages. There was a disadvantage. Bill, one more question from me. Tom Schmitz again. How much is the Big Ten Conference and the football of the Big Ten Conference hurt Ohio State this year nationally?
A lot. There's no question about it, because some of it's not their fault. Michigan State and Nebraska cycled off of their schedule, and they got Iowa and Northwestern instead. The timing of things didn't work out well. They got Northwestern the one game where Northwestern's star players, Kane Coulter and Vendrick Mark, were both still healthy. The only time all year Northwestern has had those two guys, their best two players. They were hurt by the fact that Wisconsin got screwed in that crazy game at Arizona State, where they probably would have won if the refs hadn't run out the clock on them. But there's no question the Big Ten is down. The Michigan's having a very disappointing year. That's the biggest problem they've got, and the fact that Cal, who was scheduled years and years ago to be their marquee non-league opponent, is terrible. So if it'd been a team like Miami of Florida or Texas or USC, these teams that they've played so many times before, it might be a different conversation. And again, they might have lost to one of those teams, and we wouldn't be having this conversation at all. But I think Ohio State is a very good team, and we just don't know how good they are.
Too bad Braxton Miller didn't have a chance to play complete season, because I think by the time he finishes up this year, he might not overtake Manziel and those guys, but perhaps he's a lot better quarterback than what we're giving him credit for. Buckeyes play Illinois, Ron Zook's old team. Illinois 3-6, Buckeyes 9-0. Urban Meyer still hasn't lost a game. That's remarkable, isn't it?
It is remarkable. I don't care what the competition is. To win 21 in a row, it's second most in school history. The great 68 team was the middle of the last streak, 67 and 69. They won 22 in a row. So it's a remarkable streak. I don't care who you've been playing. And Ron Zook, of course, is down. He's working at a bank
right here in Ocala,
right?
Yeah, right here in Ocala,
Yeah.
on the show quite a bit. Yeah, Ron Zook. Yeah, he's still got a football. He still wants to coach football one day, but he's very happy right now. So, okay, so game time is noon on Saturday. The Illini and the Buckeyes.
Right.
And the book is called Buckeyes Rebirth, available, I'm sure, at Amazon.com, all the big stores. I wish you all the best with the book, Bill, and maybe I'll see you in a couple of weeks up here in Columbus.
That'd be great. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
All right, Bill Rabinowitz of Columbus Dispatch, talking about Urban Meyer and the book he wrote called Buckeyes Rebirth. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We're going to hook up with our friend Mark Long, talk a little Gator basketball, and also the fact that Florida's starting quarterback may be on the sideline Saturday when is that a night game or a day game?
It couldn't possibly be a night game.
It could be.
No, I don't think South Carolina. It could be a 6 o'clock game, maybe.
Yeah, we'll check it. We come back right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Having the motivation and making the commitment to quit smoking is a great first step towards becoming smoke-free. However, anyone who's tried to quit smoking knows how challenging it can be. Having the determination to quit may not be enough. You may need some help. If you're ready to quit smoking and are between the ages of 18 and 75, currently smoke 10 or more cigarettes a day, and can commit to participating for 24 weeks, you may be interested in a research study which is being conducted to evaluate the use of investigational drugs to see if they can aid individuals in their quest to quit smoking. To help you quit, smoking cessation counseling and all study-related medical care will be provided at no extra cost. You may also be reimbursed for your travel time. To receive more information about this study, how you can participate, please call Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. That's Rinstar Medical Research in Ocala, 352-629-5800.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price fixed rate allowance.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Let's talk turkey. Chris Spears here from Prestige Auto Sales. With the holidays coming and the in-laws already in town, I don't have time to go to the auction.
We need your help to stuff our lot with cars like a Thanksgiving Day bird. Quit that old car you hate, cold turkey.
Based on the sale price of the car you choose, you can get up to $3,758 more than the appraised value of your old car. Fed up with your old ride? You can drive a nicer, newer car today.
Is your credit fried? My For the People credit approval process butters up the bankers to help you get approved.
If I don't get more cars soon, I'm cooked. Help me stuff my lot like a Thanksgiving Day turkey. Based on the sale price of the car you choose, you can get up to $3,758 more than the appraised value of your old car. But hurry, this deal ends after we've helped 47 people get fat in a nicer, newer car. My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala or call 694-1234. Yes, 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Howdy folks, RL here. I want to tell you about the best $5 bargain anywhere. For a limited time, Dairy Queen at Silver Springs is offering a sandwich or chicken strips, fries, a medium drink, and a sundae for only $5 till 4 p.m. And new on the menu is the Orange Julius line of real fruit smoothies, including protein smoothies. Our fresh-made garden salads go great with a fruit smoothie. Dairy Queen, Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's ocalaforsale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. OcalaForSale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, less proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
News Talk 1370, WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults, so use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000, 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Back on the Voice of Ocala Buddy Sports page on a wintry,
frosty
Wednesday.
Wintry's good.
Buddy says it's wintry outside. I just kind of know what you mean, though. The first time I ever on an April day turned the corner on Michigan Avenue in Chicago, and that wind coming off Lake Michigan cut me like a butcher knife. I realized that what I thought was winter was something completely different.
It don't matter if it's summer.
Winter. It didn't matter.
It's still cold.
This was in April.
Yeah.
Okay, it was cold. I think right now, buddy, we got from the AP, our guy from the AP, Mark Long, on the line.
Hard-working man. It's always on the story. Something happening, and then something happening in Gainesville. Quite often, Mark Long joins us now. Mr. Long, how are you?
Hey, doing good, buddy. How are you?
I'm a little bit, got half a voice here, so I'll use very few words.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah,
lots to talk about today with Foley and Muschamp, or Foley and Matching coming out back in Muschamp pretty strongly.
Well, let's hear about that because that's all breaking news to us. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't know. I figured you had seen this, but
No.
yeah, this afternoon, just within the last hour, Jeremy Foley and school president Bernie Matchin released statements backing Will Muschamp, saying he's the guy to lead them to the promised land and got them in the right direction. They apologize for things going wrong this year, but they have no doubt that Will's going to get them turned around. And I'll read you some of the quotes here. This is from Jeremy Foley. I'm 1,000% convinced that Will Muschamp is the guy to lead this football program. Nothing has changed in what we feel about Will Muschamp from the day we hired him. Everyone around here wants the same thing. We want to do what is right for the University of Florida. We understand that this football season has not gone the way any of us wanted it to go. Certainly not the way our fans wanted it to go, and most of all not the way Will Muschamp wanted to go. So, and he continues on and he says, we will get better under Will Muschamp's leadership. This is not the quote-unquote dreaded vote of confidence. This is how we feel around here. We have strong faith and strong belief in his capabilities, in his leadership skills, in his ability to evaluate what needs to be fixed. We'll stay the course here. We'll get it right.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've said all along I didn't think they were going to make the change. I just, having talked to Jeremy Foley, I felt like, his big thing was everybody in the building knew that Ron Zook was in over his head from day one into year two and into year three. And so, he wasn't going to survive that. They have the exact opposite feeling about Will Muschamp. They don't think this guy gets rattled. They think he knows what he's doing. They think he's the right guy to lead this program and build it the way it's going to sustain success over a long period, not ups and downs, highs and lows. And they look at this season as just a complete injury-riddled fluke, and that if Jeff Driscoll stayed healthy and Dominic Easley stayed healthy and Matt Jones stayed healthy from day one, that they would not be in the position they're in right now. And so when you hear those kind of things, this isn't a real big surprise by any means. They believe that Will Muschamp is the guy. Now, is that to say there won't be changes? Absolutely not. I think there will be changes. I think Brent Pease is probably going to be a scapegoat for this season. I think offensive line coach Tim Davis is probably ought to put his house on the market. He'll be another guy who's probably sent packing after the season. And what this does, this kind of statement out there, this strong of a statement, I think it helps in recruiting, and it certainly helps when you're going to try to go get new assistants, because the reality is, who's going to want to come play for, coach for Muschamp as an assistant if you think that Will's in the final year and it's all or nothing, do or die kind of thing. But when you back him like this and you say he's the guy for this job long term, I think that's going to help Will Muschamp go out and replace the guys he's going to replace.
Okay, good. I got a comment and a question after this. First, my comment is I received an email today from somebody deep inside the program, okay, who said, boy, things are really, really heating up here. The heat is on, the pressure's on, and he implied that there was an explosion about to take place, okay? So we know it was getting hot, obviously. Something had to be done. As predicted by many of us, I didn't think they would fire Muschamp. I wrote in the piece I sent to you, I said, it'll just take Jeremy digging in and saving him. But going back to Ron Zook real quick, let me just make one point. When Zook was fired, there was somebody waiting in the wings. It was going to be a matter of when. Urban Meyer was going to be hired by Bernie Machen, right? Machen. Yeah. So now the problem is with Will Muschamp, like him or not, and I'm not a huge fan, is that who are you going to replace him with? There is no real darling candidate out there right now. Do you say, well, bring him in, he'll fix the program, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's not, you don't have that Urban Meyer sitting out there, that young up-and-coming coach who's looking for an opportunity. I think Kevin Sumlin is a guy, getting a lot of attention for the things he's done at Texas A&M, and with that offense, and there's already talk about whether someone will end up at USC or Texas or in the NFL. All of those are possibilities. And then outside of Kevin Sumlin, it's slim pickings. I mean, Art Briles is making headlines and making, maybe raising eyebrows at Baylor. But, he's 57 years old. That's not the guy Florida's going to hire. That's not the guy they want as the face of their program. That's just not what they're about right now. They want that young, energetic, high energy coach, who's going to be the face of the franchise. And that's not anybody at that age group. So, again, just like you said, there's just not anybody out there. So you don't go getting rid of, X if you're not going to get any better with Y or Z. And that's probably where they're at right now.
We're talking with Mark Long of the Associated Press. Mark, Tom Schmidt's here. What does this say to the Gator fan, though, that says you think this year's a fluke? We think last year was a fluke. You barely beat Texas A&M with a freshman quarterback and a new coach in game 2 or 3. You barely beat LSU in Missouri. You had to get a blocked punt return for a touchdown to beat Louisiana Lafayette last year. That seems more fluky than losing with injured with these players. And Jeff Driscoll didn't look like he had improved that much over last year in the few games we saw him play. And this will be, if Brent Pease is a scapegoat, this will be the third offensive coordinator in Will Muschamp's coaching stance here. So eventually, the common denominator there is Will Muschamp's, how Florida fans will look at it, I bet.
Yeah, listen, Tom, you're dead on. You're absolutely right. I think most people who look at, Will Muschamp's tenure, they look at the 11-1 season, 11-2 with the loss to Louisville. They look at that and go, that was the fluky year. They weren't that good. They weren't a game away from playing for a national title, a turnover away from playing for the SEC title if they beat Georgia. I mean, they just weren't that good, and we all saw it. So I think you're absolutely right. But I will say this. I know, talking to Jeremy Foley, he believes it's going to take time. This is not a 1 or 2 or 3 year rebuilding project. It's going to get time to build it the right way and get this thing going. But he really has faith that the way you win in this league is with defense-minded coach and a run-first mentality. And they think Will Muschamp's the guy. And I'll tell you, I'll point to two things. Obviously, Alabama beating LSU only reinforces their belief to build in Alabama's mold, try to build this thing after Alabama, and then go back last Thursday night when the way Stanford punched Oregon in the mouth and then beat them down that whole game. They look at that, Florida officials, Jeremy Foley, Will Muschamp, they look at that game and they go, okay, listen, all this talk about Oregon and this offense, if you punch them in the mouth and you play defense and you run the ball and keep them off the field, you'll beat them 9 times out of 10. And they think that's the way you're going to find success in this league.
The head ball coach up in South Carolina, who Florida plays this week at 7 p.m. this Saturday night, he had some glowing things to say about Will Muschamp too, didn't he?
Yeah, and no question. And let me just say this. Stay on that path, Tom. There's no doubt about it that Will Muschamp and Steve Spurrier are tight. And I'll tell you one thing that they share a bond over. It's their dislike for Urban Meyer. Neither of these guys really liked Urban for whatever reason, and I get it. Urban, I can see where Urban can rub people the wrong way. He's a great football coach, very passionate guy. And he may not be a real great people person at times, but and so I could see where other coaches, he maybe he's a little arrogant, maybe a little brash, maybe all of those things. I can see where he'd rub guys the wrong way, and apparently he has rubbed Will Muschamp and Steve Spurrier the wrong way over the years, and I think they've bonded over that, and they're pretty tight friends right now.
All right, Mark Long of the Associated Press, keeping us up to date on everything going on in Gainesville. Didn't have a chance to talk basketball. We'll do that next time. Thanks so much for stopping by, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Anytime, guys. Anytime. Thank you.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up Buddy's Sports Page with a deal that the NBA has gotten themselves into 30 years ago that has cost them $300 million, and they want to get out of that deal. Plus, Austin Tatman will update us on some basketball program here in town that people think is kind of important. I don't know what that's about. We'll talk about that next. Buddy Sports Page, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of Kinetic Motion Fitness here in Ocala, Florida. A lot of you have experienced our great classes in personal and small group training, but did you know we now offer dynamic workouts on DVD? These high-quality, locally produced, effective DVD workouts can go where you go. Going on vacation? No problem. We can go with you. Friends and relatives out of town who are jealous that you get to come to KMF? No problem. We ship anywhere in the United States for free. Our great lineup of 4 DVDs includes Kinetic Achieve, Kinetic Couples, Kinetic Core, and Kinetic Campus. 4 great workouts for the entire family on DVD. Sound interesting? Check them out on our website at kmfocala.com. While you're there, check out our class schedule and come see us. We're only 5 minutes from downtown across from the Skylark Plaza. Visit kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. KMF will get you results at our studio or at home with one of our DVDs. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are. Visit kmfocala.com for more information.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Dr. Gregory Sison. He's a neonatologist at the Pediatrics Medical Group in Atlanta, and Crystal Deal, a prematurity advocate and mother of 2 preemie babies. They'll be on the air to speak to us about protecting our children from a respiratory virus.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events are bite-sized.
And then Hank Whittier will be in the studio bringing you veterans news as he does each and every Thursday.
Michael Stoward is an independent consultant for aspiring gospel artists, jazz artists, and writers. He's written a book called Lifeology 101. If all else fails, smile. It's his memoir.
And then Wendy Cook, BJ Jacobs, and Yankee Girl will be in the studio from True Grits Restaurant. They'll be talking about the food they serve over there and getting us hungry.
Dr. John Grace is a board-certified psychiatrist. He'll be in the studio speaking about Dash for Dementia, the fundraising event for the Memory Enhancement Center.
All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala Bunny Sports page. Really, if we could do this radio show on XM radio, it'd be just out of hand. Some of the discussions about sports in the breaks are just great. We're talking college basketball, and on that thought, college basketball. Let's talk about the CF Patriots, Austin.
Yeah, they play tonight. They host St. Petersburg. Tip-off is at 7:30. St. Petersburg is 1-1. Not too impressive. CF should handle them. But CF went 1-1 over the weekend. They beat Allegheny 89-59 and then lost to University of South Carolina, Salcahatchee, who was the host team of a early season tournament in South Carolina. So CF looks to go 4-1 tonight.
I'm going to save that NBA story till Saturday Sports page. I think it's better to discuss on the Saturday Sports page. Let's go back to what Mark Long just said about Florida and being backed by Bernie Matchin and Will Muschamp.
Crazy. Did not think that was going to happen.
And I mean 1,000% behind him.
But doesn't that mean to you that he's going to get fired?
Well, see,
just
Mark
because
said,
you see that happen all the time.
Mark said, they even said, this is Jeremy Foley's quote was, "This is not the quote unquote dreaded vote of confidence. This is how we all feel around here. We have a strong faith and a strong belief in his capabilities, in his leadership skill, and his ability to evaluate what needs to be fixed." Let me explain something to you. He's supposed to lose to South Carolina this weekend. The
Correct.
only way, but this scenario here, because I believe Mark Long has a feel for the program, there is still a way that this scenario gets Will Muschamp fired. I don't care how much confidence they have in him. He loses to 1AA with a losing record, Georgia Southern.
Does Georgia Southern have a losing
Yeah,
record?
Georgia Southern this year is 4-5. He's fired if he loses to Georgia Southern. I do not care what anybody says about confidence or anything. If he messes up and somehow Florida lays an egg against Georgia Southern, he's out of a job.
You don't think with this newly instilled confidence in him, he's going to lead team to victory as 14-point underdogs this weekend in Columbia, South Carolina?
He's not going to win in South Carolina.
Without Tyler Murphy?
They're not gonna
with or without him, I don't see
Marty
him winning this
Morningweg's
game.
kid's going to be in there.
Right.
You know how good that kid is? He's so good we refer to him as Marty Morningweg's kid.
I think it's definitely possible because last year on a team that was 11-1, like you said earlier, it took a blocked punt to beat a same type of team.
Yeah, to Louisiana Lafayette, I know.
Exactly.
So here's what I think. I think that until Florida gets a quality quarterback in there, and I know they're run first, pass second, but you still got to have – hey, Alabama's run first, pass second, but A.J. McCarron's a pretty good quarterback. Till you can have a quarterback in there that's smart enough and can get all the playbook given to him and be able to function in the playbook. Hey, Tyler Murphy's doing a great job, but let's face it, there's a reason Tyler Murphy was a backup. You know, he wasn't a starter because he wasn't good enough to be the starter. Injury propelled him.
He was really
into
the
that.
third stringer.
Right. Till Brissett left, he was a third. He was a scout team football guy.
So
really.
now this next to Morningweg is the fourth stringer.
Right. So Florida has to go out and get a quality quarterback. Can you do that? Well, yeah, you can do that. Johnny Manziel was a freshman last year.
Jameis Winston
was freshman this year. I mean, you can go out and get a freshman phenom, and that's what Florida has to do. But if you're a freshman phenom, do you want to come to Florida, a team that says it's a defensive team? I don't know that you can get a huge recruit here. It'll be interesting to see. But Jeremy Foley and Bernie Matchett both come out with 1,000% backing of Will Muschamp today. So Will Muschamp looks secure in Florida right now.